YouTube Force Arena Commanders, welcome to a brand new video. Today it's developer update. So yesterday I was talking to one of my guildmates saying that they really have to make some serious changes to the game, especially the 2v2 matchmaking and a whole bunch of other things. As we all know, the game's still quite new and obviously looking at data every time they make changes. So without further ado, today they announced that they're making an update which will be going live over the next couple of days, either the 8th or the 9th. But obviously, bearing in mind that if there's any hiccups or hitches, then that might change. Now, one thing as usual they don't mention is the detail of what's going on, but they have mentioned in the brief note from Simon that there will be leader, unit balancing, 2v2 map balancing changes as well. Now, what does that actually mean? There's no detail probably until either later tonight or tomorrow, and obviously I'll do one of my breakdown videos once the information is released and go through it all in more detail to see how that plays out. So let's cover probably the biggest issue right now, I think, for a lot of players is 2v2. 2v2 is really hit and miss at the moment in terms of the matchmaking, especially although this doesn't mention anything about matchmaking. I like to think that there might be some tweaks being made to how matches are made now, because it's clear and evident that there aren't as many players in the game, which is a shame, and the queue times are a little bit longer, and the players you play against are much stronger than you are, which makes it unfair, which makes more players want to leave. So hopefully that'll be a change, but I don't see that happening in this update. It'd be nice. But what I think will happen is there will most certainly be a change to the spawn area. Because right now, obviously, as a lot of players know, once either an Empire side or a Rebel side get a good push in the middle, you just spawn and die. That's all you do for the last few moments of the game. You can't counter, you can't defend, you just spawn, die, and then before you blink, your second turret's gone, your shield generator's gone, game over. So I think what will happen is there'll be a change around the spawn area. How that will work, I haven't got a foggiest idea, but I imagine where the two turrets are in the side lanes, I can see that being turned into spawn areas once they've been destroyed. That would make sense, because then you're in a position where you can do actually do something, and the units will then turn around to focus you, I imagine, rather than the turret, and there won't be as many of them, unless of course they're all on that lane and then you're out of luck. But let's know what you think below in the comments. What changes would you like to see, or what do you think will happen to the 2v2 map changes? I can't see them changing the design of the map too much. There might be I really don't know, there might be a safe zone where you can spawn into, but there isn't really much space for a safe zone in there without making the map a little bit larger. So I really don't know what or how that will happen until we get the update. And then there's going to be some changes to the leaders again. So right now I think it's fair to say that Rebels have got pretty weak leaders, apart from the usual culprits that are pretty powerful. But Princess Leia, for example, is a waste of time, because whenever I see her in my team I'm like GG before we even start, because you know really it's going to be game over. It's highly unlikely Leia can win unless there's a bit of luck or there's a good push or something happens in the game that gives them the win. But Leia in a 1 versus 1 especially is not particularly strong. So I think there'll be a change around her ability, perhaps maybe giving a bit more health, maybe a bit more powerful in her attack, or maybe buffing the troops that she spawns. Who knows, that'll be interesting. Another character I think people are falling out of love with Jyn, so she again is pretty deadly with a sniper shot, let me tell you. I mean, that really is a powerful attack, but right now it's hit and miss with her movement. It's a bit jittery at times, and she isn't particularly a favourite of a lot of people right now. So there could be changes there around her. Who knows? And I think the final change we'd probably see is with Lando, possibly. I think Lando's got a sweet spot, but a lot of players don't know how to play Lando. So possibly there could be a change to his damage output from his pistol. Who knows? One change I would like to see goes to Han. I'd like to see Han get a longer range, because after all he's a sharpshooter, so really he should have a better range out of everybody in the game, especially Orson Krennic, for example, or Baze, or all those kind of people who carry weapons, because it's Han Solo. Just 'cause it's Han Solo. So, but will he get a change? I don't know. Don't think so. but it would be nice. Now on the Empire side, I think I can quite happily see Callus getting nerfed. He really is powerful, and if you combine his stun ability with a stun grenade, you just melt either a turret or melt your enemy in a blink, especially if you're a high level Callus as well, like level 2 or level 3 versus a level 1. There's just no chance of survival whatsoever. So I can see that being changed. Can I see anything else being changed? Possibly. Maybe Grand Moff Tarkin might have something going on around his movement perhaps, and around his special ability, maybe dealing a bit more damage. I can see some cooldowns being reduced perhaps on that, those kind of things, but nothing really too drastic around there. People talk about Bosk being nerfed. Will he get a nerf? Possibly. Maybe his snare will get a nerf, because one game, there's games where if you're in against a good guild team, for example, they'll stun and snare you. That's all they'll do, and so you are helpless and for the rotation until they've burnt down your turret. So I think there'll be changes over that being made, longer cooldown times, I imagine. But let us know what you think below in the comments. Moving on to the units, well, where to start? So I think there'll be probably some changes and tweaks made to the Bantha. I can see it getting the hit points increased, but having said that though, many players still using really weak Banthas in high level matches, so that is a problem, and if the data doesn't say it's worthy of an increase in hit points, then they probably won't do it for that very reason. But if they feel the need that it needs to be a bit stronger, then that might be it. So that could be a change, and it might even reduce the cost down as well, possibly to a 4 to match the dewback. And the dewback's the same. People complain about it not being powerful enough, but again, the reason is the fact you're playing with a level 1 or a level 2 in a game where you are level 10, and your rare needs to be, or epic cards need to be at least a 4 or 5 to be competitive in games like that, rather than a level 1, because you literally just throwing it to its death really, and it'll die in a blink. So they're the kind of things I can see happening around there. I could possibly see some changes around some of the air units. Maybe the X-Wing might get a slight tweak made to it, possibly. Doesn't really need it, but I can see the range maybe being reduced, or the hit damage it does being reduced, and the same goes for a TIE bomber as well, because that can be quite devastating, the TIE bomber, and more players are using them. Plus, I think, and this is going to be controversial, because of the change of the ATST Walker, obviously a lot of players aren't using it now either, so I imagine they might make a change around that and reduce the cost down to 6, which would make it interesting. It'd still be very expensive to use, but I consider making a change to the ATST Walker, making it 6 energy, possibly, but it is the strongest unit in the game still. And will Ben Kenobi get a change? Who knows? But let us know what you think in the comments below, and once the update is around and the patch notes are up there, I will post that information to you, and I'll see you in the next video. May the Force be with you.